Hi everybody, this morning I'm going to show you how to design and draw a Welsh love spoon. These are very popular here in Wales, and we start off, normally they're carved in wood, and most designers and makers would start off with a design first. So I just wanted to show you how to get started with something like this. This is one I did yesterday using some various geometric patterns. I'll put a photograph of this online for you. But if you just start off with a sheet of A4 cartridge paper, you don't need anything else. You don't need watercolour paper unless you're going to use watercolour, but I find the black and white pen, or you can use an equivalent in a different colour. These graphic pens are really good. They're by Derwent, and they come in a various array of nib sizes. You can see the nib sizes on the top there. So this one is a 0.05 should I say. It's very fine. I don't know if you can see that. Really tiny nib, really useful. And then you've got this 0.2, which is slightly bigger. I mean, it's probably difficult to see. Let me get so this is a 0.1, which is this, again, quite small. And that's a 0.8, so you can see the difference. There's a quite a stubby end on there, but they're all really fine. But they all do come in different colours, which is really nice. So you can get a series of browns, a series of greys. Buy these online or from any art shop. Most people stock them now because pens are quite popular, as you can see from my tutorial a couple of weeks ago on pens. It's gone down a storm. Okay, so the other tools I use are these little geometric rulers. So this is out of a children's set, I think, and then I've got a slightly better one, which is just a series of circles. Really useful. Again, I've picked these up over the years, so God knows where I got this from. This has been around for a long time, but most people would have protractors. I've got this other ruler here. It's just for doing sort of simple curves and shapes and things. So if you've got those, then great, but otherwise use things like this. Use yogurt pots to draw around. You know, you've got these lids on the tops of these yogurt pots, so you know you can just pick up shapes around the house to use. So what I did was, I've used a nice sharp pencil. I'm using an HB pencil. That's just a good hardness of lead to work with. It's not too soft, it won't rub out, it won't smudge on the paper. Basically, the softer the lead, the more likelihood it is to smudge, and the harder the lead, the harder it is to rub off the paper. So I've put some lines on here, but I want to get rid of those later, so I don't want it to be too hard. And you note the hardness by whether it's got an H. So if it's got a 2H or a 3H or a 4H, then that means it's quite hard, and it gets harder as the higher the number. And then if it's a B, then that means it's getting softer. So 2B, 3B is softer, 4B is softer than that, 5B is softer. Okay, so nice sharp pencil, and I've just drawn a line down the middle of my paper, and then I just split up the paper into sections. So and I've drawn very lightly a design out for myself, which is slightly different to the one that I've got on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to now start to outline, and then I will show you a few filling in techniques. Now, if you're doing this as I'm using a 0.2 here, which is a sort of medium thickness pen. Now I'm going to outline this vertically so that you can see what I'm doing. Ideally, if you're drawing straight lines, you should turn your paper so that your hand is moving across the paper. Drawing vertically downwards like this often causes problems, so turn your paper as you're working. You'll have more time than me to do this, so turn your paper and work with the natural curve of your hands. It'll be a lot easier. I mean, as you get better at being steady and outlining things, you should find that you're able to draw vertically and things like that. So just give yourself a chance to do this well. Take your time. So most love spoons come with hearts on them because they're obviously about love. They're generally carved by one person to give to another as a love message. So generally they would have some symbols on them that represented something to do with that relationship. So they might have initials on them, certainly have hearts on them. People do get them carved for weddings and anniversaries, things like that. We have a lovely spoon carver just around the corner from us here in Velindre. He's very good at it. He spends hours and hours carving these things. I have the patience to paint, but he has the patience to carve, because they take hours and hours and hours, and often they're interlinked with chains, but carved out of wood, so which are incredibly difficult. Obviously you have to work out how they're linked together and then carve out holes. And it's so intricate and beautiful. There's a lot of information about love spoons online if you want more information, and there's also a lot of free templates for you to copy, and even just if you don't want to draw one out, you can just print them off and colour them in. Okay, so we've got another. I'm just making this up as we go along. I'm just hoping that I can get this curve. It's really difficult to get curves the same on the left and on the right because your hand moves differently either side of those curves, and you can see my circle's a bit dodgy, but never mind. So I'm just going to put some further circles. Circles are probably the hardest thing to draw. Again, practice is the key, but drawing them out initially with some form of tool will help. You've got the method using the string for drawing circles, or you can use a compass as well. That's where you put a pointer in the middle, tied to a piece of string, and then you put your pencil on the outside and you rotate around the center point. Okay, so there we are. There's the main structure for my spoon. Oh, I've missed this bit. Another person to look at is Lee John Phillips. He doesn't draw love spoons. He may have drawn love spoons, but he drew the contents of his grandfather's shed. That's every single item in his grandfather's shed. He uses black pen and paper, and so that's Lee John Phillips, and he is an incredible draftsman. You want to see the work he's done, and also have a look at all the other stuff that he does, because he's also a painter and teacher and all sorts. Right, okay, so now we come to add pattern. So I really liked these sort of lower shapes on this spoon here, so I'm going to try and replicate some of these shapes. So around here I'm going to do leaf shapes, and I'm just going to overlap them. I'm going to use this as a guide like that. And again, if you're not confident with drawing around a bend, then turn your paper as you go. I think we can probably get another couple in there. Like that. Okay, and then you can put a line down the middle just to give it an extra bit of detail, make it a bit more realistic. I think I might do some on the other side as well, but maybe just a half a leaf like that. And the nice thing about this is that you can make it up as you go along. So you can play. But if you're not sure about what you're doing, then there's an extra one there. Just draft it out in pencil, and then you can rub it out if you make a mistake. Alright, so with the circles, what should we do with the circles? I know, we'll put a sort of teardrop shape in these, so little circle like long oval, and then just start from the center point. So these are just suggested patterns. Again, there's thousands and thousands of suggested patterns online, and they're not linked at the moment, so they would be linked, so I'll need to link them in some way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another little join there, and maybe another join there, because obviously everything has to be linked if you're going to carve it, otherwise those bits would drop off. So to replicate that, it's always good to have another similar pattern somewhere else on the structure. So you can put another one there. I'm just going to do some, what shall we do here? Let's do those, a curve like this. And then The other thing about using these Derwent pens is that you can use the different sizes, so you could put some thicker lines down. Let's go up here. We'll do this pattern. I'll do this small, and then I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing there, but I'll do it large. It's quite an easy pattern to do. I'm just wondering where I can put it though. We do it. I could do it on the spoon maybe. Yeah. So basically all you need to do is block off whatever you're working on in lines. So I'm going to put a line down here like this. Again, draw with a ruler if you want it to be straight. A line across, and then a line. You can put your lines anywhere. Okay, you just need squares to work with. And all you're doing is you're taking from the point of one square, you take a line, a thin line, up and then slightly out towards the top, and then you go from just beyond here to the next point like that, and then you go just up from there to the point back again. So slightly in to the point, slightly in to the point, slightly in. Oh, I did that one wrong, never mind, there we go. The point, like that, and that just then we could put another one there, and there'll be another one there, like that. Okay, so if we repeat that, so from the point, slightly in, we're going to come all the way. Let's add another, we'll put another suggested point that's coming off the paper, like that. Slightly in to the point, slightly in along that line, slightly in along that line. And you just keep doing that until you get to the centre. And obviously it's going behind the spoon there, so there we go. Again, I think we'll start this one here so that it has a slightly different you would only see that bit then. It would come like that, okay? Well, that's the same as that actually, it looks quite nice. Right, so I'm going to do this one like this. I'll have it coming off the paper, so it would come in and then it would go like that, like that. It's quite a meditative thing to do again. We seem to have a repeat of meditative pattern making, both in watercolour. I've done a few watercolour and meditative paintings. So have a look at those if you enjoy just filling things in, making patterns, using colour, you know. The mandala, we did a mandala class last year and that was really popular. Same sort of techniques, just repeat pattern making. Obviously, you know, you have to have a certain amount of skill to carve this into a piece of wood, but the more you practice, obviously the better you'll get. So let's see now, what else can we do? We do one of these patterns. So if you work out of somewhere near the centre and put a curve and a curve and a curve and a curve like that, and then you can do a similar sort of pattern, which is going wide to narrow, wide to narrow, wide to narrow, like that, wide to narrow, like that. That's quite nice. Wide to narrow. So you're trying to sort of join most of these patterns, but I just went a bit longer down the bottom there. Again, wide, wide, but these are obviously going to overlap at some point, so maybe you could do alternate patterns like that. Again, I'm just making this up. And it doesn't really matter if you vary things. They all work out in the end. What should we do? I think I might leave that plain down the middle. I like these. Now I'm going to do a sort of teardrop in here like that, and I'm going to replicate that in the same way. So as you know, I put a YouTube video out describing that from September I will be starting a membership scheme for my tutorials. So there will still continue to be free tutorials, but they'll only be small, so they'll be about 3 to 5 minutes long, and they'll just be tips on technique in the main. So in order to see my full tutorials, you will have to pay a membership. So you join and pay £20 a month. That's only £5 a week, and I'll send you access codes each Monday to access that week's tutorial. What should we do up here? Let's see now. Might do, actually, let's replicate some leaves, shall we, up here. So I'd like to put a sort of bridge in here, I think. So I'm just going to cut a, that's where a hole would be. I'll do a leaf shape there. So yeah, you'll get a code on a Monday morning that allows you, gosh, the sun's just come in, a bit different to yesterday. It's torrential rain in here yesterday. Yeah, so I'll send you a code on Monday morning. Once you've registered and you've set up payment, you'll get a code every Monday morning. and that will allow you access to a 1 to 2 hour tutorial, which will be on all sorts of things. So one week you might have watercolour, the next week you might have acrylic, pastel, drawing, charcoal, similar sort of carry on to what's on my YouTube channel at the moment. And like today, you might be designing some love spoons. I try and keep the variety as interesting as possible, and that you're learning as much technique as possible. And if you've got any suggestions for masterclasses, then please let me know. So there's a few more leaves. Again, think about working outside of your structure, like this. So as well as the Monday session, and you know, these tutorials are recorded, so you can access them at any time. Somebody said, can I do them in bed? I said yes. So you know, it's a good thing about learning online is that it's very convenient. You can use it, you can do half an hour of one tutorial, go away, have dinner, come back. You know, you can access it at any time. It's there forever, and it's there for you to keep as well. You can just download it and save it on your laptop or computer or whatever you use. So you know, it's very convenient. It also saves you a lot of money. You don't have to go to classes, but we're just doing it really as a temporary replacement for classes. I will continue to do classes when we're allowed to go back in. So yeah, and I've had quite a few memberships already, which has been really lovely. One of my students said that they're not quite capable of getting out of the house as regularly as they used to be able to, so this is a really good way, a good solution for him. Another of my students has said that they're joining because they can't come to the classes because they work. So I get an awful lot of inquiries from people about after work hour classes, and I just can't run them. One of the reasons being that the community centre is not very well, it's not often open of an evening, so you know, it's difficult. Alright, so what do I do with this central circular section here? I'm just wondering if, because we've got some lines, we need some more lines I think to balance with this. We've got the repetition of leaf shapes, we've got repetition here, we've got repetition here, so it's good to have repetition of all. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put some triangles in here. Let's try this, and I'm going to use that same technique. I think we might do that every alternate. So like I said, the information is on one of my tutorials, so you can access me talking about this membership, but you can also access it via Facebook, on my community education page, my Twitter and Instagram. So go have a look. Ooh, that looks quite good actually, because it works like a vortex. Okay, so what do I do on the other circles? What else have we not repeated? Maybe this teardrop pattern again. So I'm not sure whether you would have stuck with me drawing this or probably fast forward through it, but you get the idea. Like I said, it's a really good calming exercise. So if you're feeling a bit stressed out about all this COVID nonsense, or if you're an A-level student, you know, I know that you've received good news yesterday about the algorithms being changed, so that's great. And GCSE's coming up as well. This is a really nice exercise to do to calm you down if you're a bit stressed. And you know, once you've got one template, you can just keep tracing that template and using different designs within that. You could use this for needlepoint, you could do anything with it, couldn't you? So yeah, now these are a bit vulnerable. If you were to carve these, they would be a bit vulnerable, so I'm going to put a join here somewhere. Let's put another leaf shape there. I know that we're not going to carve these, but if you were, I mean, if you'd put these online and a carver was to have a look at your designs, then you know, you never know, they might use them. Okay, I'm going to leave it. Oh no, hang on, what about this one? Let's put those. Lovely robin singing outside. I'm very lucky here to be looking out over my vegetable garden. I can see it actually growing in front of me. And I know a lot of you have probably attempted to grow vegetables for the first time this year, and I hope you're getting good crops. It's been quite a late season, but everything seems to be coming on now. I usually consult with my students because they're all growers, and they normally give me, and also I'm a member of the Llangadog Gardening Club, who I have not seen since lockdown. So I've, been relying heavily on YouTube tutorials. I mean, they've just been a godsend, I tell you. I mean, I like face-to-face advice. I've got a couple of people in the village who are very good at growing, and they're very happy to share their experiences with me, which is wonderful. But yeah, YouTube, source of all knowledge. Okay, so have a look at my membership. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this tutorial. Ask questions, there's a comments box. I'll put pictures up of these on the same page, and have a look at my membership. The membership starts on the 1st of September, so you've got a couple of weeks to set up your membership, and then we'll be off. And it's really exciting to be doing something a little bit more official. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. See you on Thursday. I still haven't made my mind up about what I'm going to be talking about, but see you on Thursday for Art Chat at 11 o'clock on Facebook Live. Bye everybody, have a good day.